It's Barry Upton here on Morning Glory on Pattaya People Radio, and I've got a very special guest in the studio today, someone who I've known for many, many years. We go back, what is it, about 30 years, something like that?
At least. I was one when I met
you. Let's just relate how we did meet. It's Barry Tomes, everybody. There we go.
Hey,
He's just
good morning,
flown
Barry.
in. Just
Hello.
flown in.
From Barry to Barry. Good morning, mate.
Yeah.
How we met was, I think we were at the airport, Gatwick Airport.
Yeah.
And we're about to fly out with Brother of a Man to do some shows.
Yeah.
And I remember how annoying it got when somebody said Barry, we both looked round. So you renamed me BT.
That's
and
right.
From there on in, I was called BT.
Barry Tomes BT.
Yeah, just BT, and that was it. And it was so funny. And you know, this morning when I woke up, I went to go out to the pool.
Yeah.
And I remember to open the patio door, which you didn't when we were in Dubai.
Oh, I did. I went straight through it, didn't I?
Wild man. You was wild when you were young, man.
I remember that story because I was setting equipment up, and I suddenly remembered I'd left something in the hotel room, and somebody had closed a big glass door, and I went straight through it, didn't I?
Smash. I mean, off
so
the hospital.
You were then a tour.
I was a tour manager.
Yeah.
I'd taken people like Lulu, 3 Degrees, Tony Christie.
Yeah, because now you're a PR guru, really, aren't you?
Apparently.
That's your title.
Look at me, I'm
and
all
you're
gurued
really well known in the UK. But I think we should go back to really how you started.
It was about sex. That's how I started. And what's weird, I was only 15, and I'd got a building company, which wasn't very sexy, but I'd got a building company.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend then, Jackie Howell, she said, I've got some tickets to see Alvin Stardust at a show called 45. I said, well, what's that then? She said, a TV show. I said, what are we going to a TV show for? She said, well, I really love Alvin Stardust. I said, I don't care about Alvin Stardust or music. I've got some woman's bathroom to put in on Thursday. And she said, no, we're going to this show. I said, well, where is it and what does it involve? She said, well, it's in Manchester and we got to stay the night. Well, I was in. I was only 17 by then, and I was going to stay the night with my bird. And that's genuinely...
Really?
We went... It was hosted by Kid Jensen, who's still on radio now, still the Smooth Radio. Yeah. And he hosted this programme that ITV tried to copy, Top of the Pops, and they tried for years. Yeah. And he was at the Hard Rock in Manchester. We go on our £2 10 on a coach. We go up there and we see a few bands, and Alvin Stardust was fantastic, I've got to say. It was my first experience of... I'd seen gigs, but it was my first sort of experience of a TV show, and he went on and he was awesome. And my biggest shock was how small the TV studio was. It was like being in your lounge.
Because they use those wide-angle lenses.
Yeah, and it just looks incredible.
I always remember doing Top of the Pops for the first time and thinking, this looks like a massive studio on TV.
And it was so tiny, that was the weird thing. And at the end, I remember my girlfriend hanging about. And of course, I wanted to impress my bird. I was staying the night. This is the sex bit. Right. So I want to impress my bird. And she said, I'd love to get a signed picture with Alvin Stardust. So I slowly got up out the chair and I hung back and sure enough, we were the last two in the studio. They'd got rid of all the audience. They were quickly packing up the equipment. And I see this guy, and I was 6 foot tall then at sort of 16, 17. Yeah. I see this tall guy who's taller than me. I thought, he's got to be the bodyguard. Right, he must be. Even then, I'm thinking he's the bodyguard. I go over and I look up and said, is there anywhere at all? You do. I'm really... Any chance of sort of getting an autograph from Alvin Stardust? I'm expecting him to say, get out, mate. Yeah. He goes, sure. Knocks the door. The door opens in 10 seconds. Yeah. Alvin Stardust in a red poncho with the gloves on. Yeah. My girlfriend dies. Gone.
Impressed.
So impressed. I'm like, I'm in here. I've sorted my night out. And then she gets out this tape machine we've got, and I've still got the cassette now, which we're going to transfer it digitally and put it up. And he chatted to us for ages. He gave us a pair of gloves. He gave us some necklaces he wore. Wow. We went off. Suddenly realising we hadn't even got an hotel for the night, we slept in Piccadilly Station in Manchester on a bench. Most romantic night of my life. Got my Alvin Stardust gloves on. I'm cuddling my bird who thinks I'm God. Yeah, I've got to meet Alvin. I'm God, ain't I? Right.
Now I realise, because just recently you've been writing reports about Alvin Stardust because he died recently.
Yeah, it's so rude.
And he died. He was a big influence on you then.
Well, listen, I've got to say, the music business is a place full of thieves and vagabonds. It's a glamorous place. And if you're lucky, you do, and we've both experienced the most wonderful things in our lives. But behind the scenes, there are a lot of vagabonds and rogues and a lot of artists that are kind of difficult. So it's not the easiest place in the world to work. Yeah. And if I hadn't met Alvin, I'd have gone to make my millions as a builder, because that was always my plan. I'd been building since I was 9. Yeah. And Alvin, having met him, and he was such a lovely guy. And a week later, we get a phone call. Now, when I was a kid, if somebody phoned after 9 o'clock, it was because your Auntie Joyce had died, right? That was it. It was never, ever to say, hi, how you doing, what's on the telly, right? So my mum puts me on the phone all sheepish and she says, oh, look, we loved you so much at the TV show. I just started working for Alvin that day, but I actually worked for Wimbledon for the tennis. I don't know nothing about music. I haven't got a clue what he does, but my PR company have put me in charge.
Okay.
Would you come and help me and tell me some stuff about Alvin? Okay, we'll do that, you know. The next Saturday, this was the Friday, the following Saturday, we go to the steam machine in Stoke-on-Trent. We go and sell T-shirts, badges, like 10 shilling, I think it was. And that's it. I'm in the music business. Here we are, 41 years later.
No, you haven't stopped. You've been like a hamster on a wheel ever since, haven't you?
2 wheels, Baz.
Yeah, funny.
And
isn't there a story about him meeting your mum or something?
Yeah.
What's that?
The funniest thing about meeting my mum, Alvin was from Mansfield, though he lived in Sussex. He was from Mansfield. And he was always in the Midlands, and all his bands from Birmingham. And one night we were in a studio, Zenith Studios in Edgbaston, I think it was. And it's about 3 a.m, and he said, right, I've got to go, got to go and get a hotel. I said, Alvin, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You've got to leave at 9. What, there's no point in getting a hotel. Yeah, no. I said, look, come back to my mum's. So we drive back to a council estate in his black BMW. So that was a worry, with the wheels going to be on in the morning. That was my biggest worry. Not where will he park? Will the wheels still be on? So we go back to the house, and my mum, God rest her soul, when she had a bad cough, she always had a cigarette, right? So she sat in the bed with a cigarette. I get in. Alvin's getting his bag out the car. I run upstairs. Mum, quick, put your teeth in. Alvin's here. So my mum has got this tatty old nightie on, an hairnet, a fag in a trap, trying to find her teeth because Alvin Stardust has turned up.
Brilliant.
Come on, get up, get out, and start grooving. Jingling around to the sound of music.
Then you became Lulu's tour manager, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
how did that happen?
Well, that was because of Alvin. Again, Alvin has just influenced me all the time, not just musically, but as a human being. He just influenced so many things. And I sort of met him in 1974, sort of 40 years ago, and I run his fan club, Alvin Stardust Info. We did his gigs, TV, and then in 1979 he was working on a Sunday show in London with Jack Good, the Jack Good from the 50s, and they redid Oh Boy, which launched Shakin' Stevens, and he went on to have loads and loads of hits, and we worked with Joe Brown. And this was a Sunday show in the West End that they had on, and they loved it that much they decided to bring it back, and Central TV in Birmingham launched it. So I'm there, and there's a lot of guests on, lots of dancers, and they had things on. And then they were going to Americanise the show, so they brought Lulu on as a guest, and they changed the name to Let's Rock. And when Alvin was there, he said, I'm going to sort of slow down a bit now. I want to do a bit of acting. He said, I'm not going to be on the road much. We've got to find you things to do. He'd already had me renovating his mum's bungalow. He'd done everything I could building-wise. Seriously, I'm not joking. So he then says, we've got to find you things to do. He said, oh, no. He said, one of my friends manages Boy George, and one manages Lulu. My manager's sister manages Lulu. Lo and behold, Lulu's on the programme the very next week.
Right.
He introduces me, very nice, gorgeous little lady. Never thought any more of it, right? So then he's talking, and he said, tour manager's not well. He said, do you think you could do something? I said, well, yeah, whatever. So I get a phone call from Marion Massey, and said, listen, Alvin Stardust has recommended you. It's just a one-off gig, we've got a regular guy. I said, whatever you want, love, no problem. And so I get me 20 quid. I'm Lulu's tour manager for the day. But here's the deal. She lives in Compton Avenue in North London. I live in Council Estate in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Right? So when I said that to Marion, she said, I'm a bit worried about that. You're 2 hours drive away. Well, I wasn't, because in them days there was no speed limit. And my Cortina could do 120, yellow Cortina with the dogs nodding in the back, seriously, could do 120 mile an hour.
Brilliant.
So it was about an hour and 15 minutes from motorway to motorway.
Yeah.
So my very first gig I did with Lulu, and this was because of the introduction with Alvin.
Yeah.
I drove from Birmingham to London. Yeah. Knocked on this front door. Yeah. This woman I didn't recognise with a towel on her head and a big bathrobe, which was Lulu, answers the door. She said, we go round the back. So I go round the back in the kitchen, and then she comes in the other door. Yeah. And we drove to Stockton-on-Tees from London. Yeah. Did the gig, left Stockton-on-Tees at 1 o'clock in the morning, drove back to London, dropped Lulu off, got in the old Cortina, rum, back home.
And
23 hours.
And after Lulu had spent all that time in the car with you, how was her mental state of health at the end of it?
Well, as you can see, she kind of ended her career. Now, she thought I was fab. I don't know why. She thought I was a smasher.
Yeah. Oh, good. Listen, let's talk about after Lulu, you started doing those tour managing. There was quite a few different artists you tour managed for then.
Well, yeah, that's how I came across Brother of the Man, obviously, because what happened, I was Lulu's tour manager for 6 years. And I remember the guy Stuart Williamson that took us all to the Middle East, which took the Brother of the Man as well.
Right.
He said to me, "Look, I really want you to work for my company. I want you to come and move out here." And I said, "Look, no, I love Lulu. I don't want to leave, and I'm happy."
Yeah.
And Lulu was going on holiday for 6 weeks to a villa in Spain. She had in Ibiza, and he said, "Just do one for me. Just try." And I took the 3 degrees out. Well, that was a hoot. That was a hoot. I'll never forget that as long as I live. And I'm still friends with Sheila Ferguson. And it was so brilliant. I finished up doing that regular. I did Tony Christie, Shawadi Wadi, Brother of the Man, and another guy we were just talking about radio was Emperor Roscoe, who we loved on Radio 1 as well.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He was a legendary DJ.
And he still is.
From America.
Yeah. So we took him out as well, and I'm not quite sure how it worked, but we took him out because obviously in the times then in Dubai and that there was no bars, there was no pubs, it was a hotel, and there was some underground places which he did some DJing for us. And the funniest thing happened, we get on a plane and it's the 8 hours where it was to Dubai, and he sat in front of me, and he fell asleep, and as he fell asleep, he slowly slid down in his chair. As you do on an aircraft. Nothing too worrying there for you. You just get the image.
Yeah.
But his toupee stayed at the top of the chair as he slipped down. When he woke up and he sat up, he sat back on his head and he got up as though you'd never. If only I'd have had an iPhone then.
Yes.
Because you
could have filmed that.
If you'd have filmed that,
that would have been an internet sensation.
2 million people. Yeah. And what a lovely guy.
Yeah. Brilliant.